think of any business service that you use, all right? And imagine that they're charging you 10 times more for whatever it is, right? Whatever most common service you use. If they were to charge you 10 times more, would it still be valuable to you to spend that money, right? A lot of times the answer is no. But if the company is executing well, if they're doing their job, the answer is yeah. I mean, they're really important to me. I'd spend 10 times more to be able to have them in my life. The reason why that is because that company is very intentional with the value that they're putting forward. But not only that, they know that the ability for you to be a long-term customer, no matter what they do in their business, all started with the very first communication and expectation that you had with them as a product. Okay, so let's revert that back and let's take that to like real estate and specifically wholesaling or any off-market deals. The spread of what you make is started at the very first conversation you have with the seller. Okay, so if you want to make $30,000 on a deal, on a wholesale deal, instead of making like $5,000 or $10,000, let's just say, then what you need to do is you need to make sure that that goal is based upon your ability to execute. And so, for example, let's just say a property is worth $200,000, okay? And it needs $30,000 in rehab costs, so I want to make $30,000. I'm going to leave out a bunch of the other micro numbers here, but to keep it simple, $200,000, subtract $30,000 because I want to make that, and then it needs another $30,000 in repairs, so $70,000, $140,000. So at this point, I need to offer $140,000, right? But hey, actually, I'm going to wholesale this. So the flipper is going to make the $30,000, and I want to make $30,000 as a wholesaler. Cool. So I need to come down another $30,000. I can't expect the flipper to be like, oh, you know what? I'm okay with making 20. Right? I can't expect to find a flipper who's okay with making only $20,000 and lock it up at $150,000 or $120,000 in that example, right? Because I'm like, cool, well, I can't get him any lower, right? I can't get him any lower, but if I just lock it up anyway, I can still make my 30. I just need a buyer that's willing to pay more for the property. That word, that sentence, that statement is you saying I suck. So hopefully someone else is willing to fix my fuck up and what I want to make as a company simply because I didn't do a good enough job in sales. Or maybe I recognize that I'm going to make, $20,000 instead of $30,000 or whatever the numerics are. And that's that. Moral of the story is you need to lock up deals based off of what you can execute on. If it doesn't make sense as a deal for you, then don't assume that it makes sense as a deal for somebody else. Don't assume that there's an idiot out there that's going to spend more for a property just because. I promise you, and I know there's a bunch of influencers out there that are like, oh, well, you never assume what someone else is willing to spend. Lock up the deal and push the deal. Great, do that, but it has to be a fucking deal. You can't be like, oh, I'm just going to lock up a deal and somebody's going to buy it. That's fucking idiocracy. You're building a business that's literally designed to fail. That's like building a fucking business down one of these side streets and be like, cool, well, people drive past it, so I'm going to build it anyway, and I'm just going to I'm going to hope people start walking past. I'm going to hope the right amount of people come past my services to walk in and buy some shit. No, that's not how that works, right? You got to understand that, hey, on this road, this many people drive past, and based off demographics, I should have at least 10% or 20% or 30% of the individuals who are interested in my type of product, and out of those, maybe 1 or 2% actually come into my store for me to make revenue, right? So retailers do that. Big businesses that sell commercial deals on market on Facebook do that. It's just standard marketing and sales 101 is not to assume that somebody else is going to fix your own fucking, revenue goals, right? I don't know. I feel like at this point, it should be pretty fucking understandable to not lock up a deal that doesn't make any sense and then hope somebody else takes care of it. Other people are relying on you to execute. And if you continue to grow your business because you think, oh, you know what? Someone's going to buy the deal. Someone's going to pay more for it. What's going to end up happening is you're going to have someone who will pay, let's say, in this example we gave earlier, oh, they'll give me $160,000. You're like, no, I want to make $170,000. So fuck that guy. but you're not getting a lot of offers. It's kind of already slow, right? You probably have the property under contract for too much. You can't assume that there's somebody out there and it's going to take you a month to find them that's going to pay you $170. Take the fucking money, right? Sell the deal, lock it up, and then flip it. The money is made at getting the seller down $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 or $6,000 more than what you originally wanted, and selling it for $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 or $5,000 more to another buyer. So the compound effect is not making the buyer spend an extra $10,000. It's making the seller come down $5,000 and the buyer go up $5,000. You understand? That's the biggest key. That's how you make big spreads on real estate deals, is you talk it up a little bit on both sides or below on one side and above on another, and that creates this spread. Especially if you lock it up under contract on the basis that it fits all the exit strategies, flip, rentals and so on. Because what happens is, if I know I can flip it for $30,000 and I can make $30,000 me, right? And I say, cool, but what if I want to wholesale it? Let me talk it down another $10,000 or $20,000 just in case I want to wholesale it. I want to make $10,000 minimum. Cool, well, if I do decide to flip it, now I can make, 40, 50, 60. Or maybe I can wholesale it, and there might be, but I'm not relying upon it. There might be a real estate investor that's willing to pay me, maybe they're okay with only making $20,000 on a flip. So now I already baked in my wholesale fee, and they're okay with only making $20,000 on a flip instead of $30,000. So now I can make an extra $10,000 on a wholesale. So now I'm making my original baked in $10,000, $20,000 or $30,000 wholesale fee, plus they're willing to accept only $20,000 profit. So boom, I just added in. Now, I'm not really a big fan of going back to the seller now and beating them up even more because it's kind of hard to push the deal. No, you're already making fucking 30 grand. Don't be a bastard, right? Don't fuck over this other person because you want to make an extra 5 grand. Like, they need to live and eat too. Like, they deserve it more than you do, to be honest with you. So any rate, hopefully these examples kind of ingrained into your head. Hopefully you're not going to become the organization or the sole, investor that's just making the stupid decisions. Because I promise you, if you live your business and you live your life around thinking that this other guy is going to feed your family because you can't fix the skill sets in the front side, then I promise you're going to end up back doing whatever the fuck you were doing before you decided to make this decision and going your own path, because of the fact that you're not willing to take the time to find the right people that need your services, and you're not willing to build the skill sets to get them at the right price. You're not willing to actually build a legitimate, honest business, right, that can sustain itself long term, okay? Don't rely on another man or another woman to put money in your fucking pocket. You can only control that by making the right decisions in your business, by teaching your sales individuals and doing it the right way. Ain't nobody else want another sugar daddy taking care of their mama. See what I'm saying? So don't forget it. Hopefully this helped. If you have any questions, just comment below. And now my oatmeal is cold, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.